I wanted to share this segment of a participant session with you because I think it's so unbelievably important to understand about loving oneself, loving others, relationships, the mother wound. There's a lot going on in this clip that Vagrein has shared with us, and I think it is so important. I personally have struggled with attachment issues in my own life, and this wisdom is transcendent and allows a new perspective so as to heal these types of wounds, these types of situations permanently. Please enjoy this amazing clip from Vagrian. Your connections do begin with putting you on the back steps, so to speak, because such as in your case, or as in the case of many others, as a child, while you are formulating your ability to connect with people, you are often exposed to more and more people who do not have the ability to connect. We would say that, yes, this is unfair and it should not have been that way, or whatever other statement you would like to hear that would comfort you. But we will now shift it to something else as well. Each child that comes into this world to a parent who does have some level of deficiency in their connection has in some way signed up for that, not only because it is what will make them the person that they are desiring to be and give them the challenges that they are desiring to have, but out of love for the parent. The only relationship that is unconditional on your planet, at least purely so, is not the one for parent to child, but the one from newborn child to parent, or from child that decides to take on the soul journey through that particular pair of genetic strains, that particular pair of circumstances, etc., etc. And of course, that bond can be conditioned through periods of time. In other words, by the time you get to your teenage years, the majority of you do indeed hate your parents in many ways, or do see them in a conditional light. But regardless, the love of the unconditionality is exclusively related to newborn children in many ways, at least until identity is formed or separateness is formed, because that is the only being on your planet that can sense it. Not perhaps the only being. You also do have beings on your planet who have either parts of their brains that are shut off or damaged, or those who through age have come to a space where they've chosen to exist still in your collective while having the aspects of them that are entirely ego-based be then, shall we say, put off or turned off in anticipation eventually of their physical partition or departure from their human form. But every single baby does come into the world with complete and utter trust, complete and utter unconditional love for its caregivers because it does not see it as separate from them. So what does this have to do with your mother? Or what does this have to do with any mother? What does this have to do with any set of parents and any children? It is that the child is the teacher in that dynamic. You know this yourself because of your relationship with your own child. And in this particular dynamic, of course, the child is ill-equipped to know consciously what is going on. But that child will always trigger the parent into having to either confront the fact that they are not able to have that sort of connection, or encourage them to be able to begin to have that form of connection. And that too is based upon free will and the abilities of that particular person. You do know that in your life, you did have a mother who did not have the capabilities to be able to have connection in that way. And so it was a struggle for you, but you did serve your role or fulfill your end of the bargain. Now you are left with, how come they did not fulfill theirs? The truth is, you can never get someone else to fulfill their end of the bargain. That is their soul journey. You can, however, shift your perspective into, I am the one who fulfilled my end of the bargain. I am the one who loved unconditionally, held on to that. The reason why I feel bad now is not because I failed. It is because I succeeded. I did not close my heart. I did not get jaded. Sure, you have put up some protection in your life thereafter so as to make sure that you are not hurt in the same way. But look at you. You are also so desiring to tear down those walls, to move into a relationship in a more open way. You are still a warrior, still the brave-hearted one. And so you can begin to re-look at your entire past with that particular relationship as a success as opposed to a failure. And so there you go. What you are talking about in this now moment, which is where your power lies, is that you have come to a new crossroads. Now you have decided or are in the process of deciding that you want most fully opened relationships, opened love, opened being yourself around people. And this decision can bring up, yes, the fear that you have. What happens if I tear down my walls? Will I feel as I did as a child? Well, that depends how you choose to feel as you did as a child now. If you choose to see the times that your mother failed, not as it had something to do with you, but with compassion, we know it is hard because it is not fair to a child. But with the compassion that that being flipping the roles on its head had, because you were the wiser soul. You were the one that came in afterwards to clean up the mess. If you can find a way to begin to say, you know what, that was a success. And I put up the walls only because, not because I was hurt, but because I simply did not understand what a success that was in the first place. Then it is easier to take down the walls because then even if you come across someone who is also equally incapable of opening their hearts to you, it does not matter. Because you know that you cannot be hurt by someone not opening their heart to you. That is not what you are here for. You do not need them. You are here to serve them. And so you put yourself back in that place of power, which is the one you were always in, except you did not know it from your human perspective. You are a powerful being. You do have the capability to live with an open heart. You will come across people who do not. And that is because that role was part of your mission to help them to see. Do you know what happens to someone with a closed heart when they are loved? What happens first is deep sorrow because they have, like you, put themselves in a position where they believe that the safest thing to do is to be guarded. And when they are confronted with pure love, whether it be the love of God, the universe, or another human being, the first response is, what a fool I have been to have lived my entire life without allowing myself to feel this. And in that, what a fool I've been, there is shame, there is sorrow, there is fear, there is rejection of self because they have not felt their own love either. And what does one do when there's deep sorrow? The majority of you are far more comfortable with anger. What you do if you do not want to feel sorrow is you push people away. Physically, emotionally, mentally, distance-wise, you literally get out of their space so as not to be affected by that love. Because there's nothing worse than having been wrong about this topic. Because you have given up so much. It is as if you find out finally, suddenly, that the entire time you were eating out of a can of beans, there was a cabinet full of luxurious food for you, and you had been starving all along. You would be quite upset about the whole situation. And you might even reject the cabinet, saying it must be poison. It must be dangerous. If it was okay or good to have that, then I would have known about it all along. But it does take humility to realize that you are closed off. 1 out of every 1,000 of you that has the opportunity to have someone truly love them unconditionally might take the chance. In this now, since you cannot control anyone else, your only hope for connection is to walk around in that state of unconditional love for everyone. And as you do so, lo and behold, you pulling down your walls, Jim and Sally and Aaron and Ahmed will not pull down their walls, but one person might at the end of that row. And as you are walking around like this, well, then you will find also what beliefs you yourself are wanting to clear, that tell you that it is not possible, that tell you that you are not worthy, that tell you you have to protect yourself. You can come to a space of moving through this and living from that space of love itself. Back to the question of the self-love. When you tear down your walls, you will see yourself as you truly are, and you have no option but to love yourself, because you will see how tender you are. You will see how vulnerable you are. You will see how conditioned you had been. And you, in the space of I decide, I choose to love, will become more sweet with yourself, will become more in tune, asking yourself, what do I need in this now moment? And in choosing that and choosing to be in a space of loving all, including yourself, you will find naturally that very close connected relationships will flock to you. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're ready to hit that subscribe and like button and to send me a comment so I know what's going on with you and if any of this was actually relevant to you. I'm also super excited about seeing you guys in person very shortly. There's a lot coming up. I have an event in Colorado in March, one in Florida in April, and the Vagrein retreat right here in beautiful Italy in May. Do check out all of these things, including my online events at www.jpherman.com/events, because I can't wait to see you in person, give you guys a big hug, and spend some time with you, socializing, hanging out, and of course, transmitting anything that you'd like to draw out of Vagrein and their particular energy. Love you lots. Take care. Like, subscribe, comment, etc., 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 and I'll see you again soon. Bye.